Hi everyone, how you doing? Well, I'm going on day 3 of suffering from the heat wave. Why should there be a heat wave in October? I know, to the regular person, it actually got higher. It was like 75. They said it would only go 73, not yesterday. Yesterday, which now is what you're what? No, wait a minute. So, this is today, Sunday. Yeah, yesterday, Saturday. They said it would only be, actually, it wasn't even supposed to be, 70. Maybe high 70. It went to 75, so that doesn't give me a lot of hope for the rest of the week if it went up to 75. So needless to say, I was here. The portable air was already taken down, so I didn't have that. The monster broke the fan, so I only have one that I jimmy rigged to stay up, so it was pretty miserable for me, to say the least. So that's my daily report. So I got another almost a week to go through, and I'm getting kind of worried because if almost 70 turns 75, who knows what's coming on the 73 day. So not sure. But anyhow, I had a question for you. I know I keep asking questions, I don't get any answers, but don't matter. I'm just going to do my vlog. So anyhow, that sounded mean. I didn't mean to sound mean. It's mean I'm just talking, that's all. Talking what's in my head. So I was sitting here and thinking, oh yeah, I do a lot of that. I think I have through my whole life. I think I'm that kind of person. And I think it happened when I started having kids. Before I had kids, I was more like happy-go-lucky. Well, I don't know. I guess I am happy-go-lucky, but what's happened to our worlds has kind of made me kind of stuck here. First what was going on in the world, which still is, and then this problem with my health. But anyhow, I used to be, up until, can't say it on here, but you know what happened. But anyhow, to the world. But anyhow, so that started me thinking. I don't know what got me on thinking on that and what was thinking before. I think I was thinking, I think will be the word for this video, I was thinking about how bad I want to do some cook and baking videos for you. Now, I have recipes for no bake, but the thing is, if I stand up too long, I feel like passing out. So, today I actually had everything. By the time I put the stuff together, which was another no-bake recipe, and then I was going to do it. I have to do one way for Polly, one way for me now. By the time I put everything out, I couldn't do it. I was so tired. I was just my heart was beating too fast, the palpitations, everything, because it was too much stress on my body. So anyhow, just want to let you know, I'm working really hard at this. So I guess I just got to hang on, hold on, hope this is our Indian summer and there won't be no more of it. And then I could, I can do at least the no-bake things. But I hope you, well, one person only commented, so I don't know if the rest of you, what you thought of my ideas for fall baking. I think it was mostly baking. It was baking all. But anyhow, back to the subject at hand. That we're 3 minutes into the video already. So I started thinking about, I don't know what made me think this, no clue, but anyhow, not important. Are you a person of change, or are you a creature of habit? And like I said, I don't know what got me on that thinking train, but I right away can answer immediately. I am a person that does not like change. Never have. I think as young as I was, very young, whatever I can remember back, as far back as I can, I do not like change. I never have. And I don't like to be alone. And I think that pretty much goes hand in hand if you don't like change and you don't like to be alone. So I remember when I told this story long ago, but new people, you wouldn't know it unless you've been going through all my videos, which there's like 1,500 plus. I had told you about a family that I pretty much raised. Both the parents worked. I think the dad worked 2 jobs. They had a day job and a night job, and she worked and all. But anyhow, she always would talk about, she was worried about when she would become an empty nester. And of course, here I'm a teenager, not even thinking I don't have a family, no boyfriend, nothing, And then, I had kids one after another. So again, there was no room in my brain for thinking about this empty nester thing. But, well, now I have the other thought of, Polly needs some help, and I worry about, when I'm not here anymore. So I guess I'll never have to worry about the empty nester because I always have him here. But still, I remember when I was my first marriage, when I was going through the divorce, it was like, as much as, I mean, he was a good man, a good husband, a very good provider. Like I said, in the New People Might Not Know, he literally gave me every penny he had. He was raised the right way. His mother raised him to respect women, respect his wife, his family, his children, everyone, that we should never go without. But anyhow, just, something happened to him there and he went crazy. And crazy to the point of where he struck my mom and me, and that was it. There's no counseling, there's no nothing. You don't do that. And like I said, this was a good person who, we never had to worry. Never had to worry about food or anything. But anyhow, so the thought of divorce, the change. Oh my gosh, here I was left alone with 4 children, and I was pregnant. And my mom, those of you who have watched me for a while know, her work was number one. I mean, I'm sure she loved us and she loved the grandchildren, but God forbid that work. If she could grab overtime, she'd be there. She'd be there. She'd like to come here, but we were second. Her work was number one, and that's fine. That was her thing. But anyhow, I thought, oh my gosh, change, me alone. How am I going to do it? He didn't really help a lot. He wasn't, when the kids were babies, he liked, when they got 4 years old, when they could get into sports, then he was really into them. But the diaper changing and walking the floors, he wasn't really about that. But it didn't matter, he took care of us financially, and I took care of the kids. But anyhow, I thought, oh my gosh, well, I wasn't going to be alone. Obviously, I had 4 kids and 1 on the way, but alone, like I'm the only adult alone, and the kids were quite little. Well, were they that little? I don't know. Anyhow, they were little kids. So I didn't like that. But what are you going to do? It is what it is. So that's not the way the story is going to go, because I had in my mind what I was going to say. But anyhow, here I am now at this point. So anyhow, it took a long time to get divorced. But so I wasn't alone a lot. I was around lawyers and judges and probably criminals in the building where we had to go, always to court. But anyhow, I totally lost my whole train of thought. I thought this through before I went on here, so I could, put it all together in a nice follow fashion. Of course, I always veer to the left, and it's not a political statement. It's just, I don't know, I always say left, I don't know why. But anyhow, so why am I a creature of habit? Can't remember. Let me think a minute. Now I remember. I was thinking about, I don't know why, I was thinking about church. And probably because the holidays are coming upon us, I keep talking about, fall, cooking, baking, and that makes me think of holiday baking. Holiday reminds me of Christmas, which reminds me of church. And we would always go, in my first marriage, we always went to church. Well, we went to church every Sunday. When my kids were in preschool, I went to church. I would stop by during the day. In the morning, they had church. If, I got the kids there, well, you can only get them there 15 minutes early. But if the teacher got them in on time, I could go to church then. Sometimes I would just stop in. So I went to church a lot. My first husband was Catholic, and I think that really makes a difference. Just my opinion. It may not be what happened in your life, but I think if you're of the same faith, it makes it easier in that area, because we both knew our children were going to be raised Catholic. They went through all the sacraments. We all went to church together. We all dressed up for church. The kids were well behaved in church, and it was something we looked forward to. And to me, that was my kind of quiet space, because my kids never, ever, I don't know. I guess because my first husband backed me, and he always says, you listen to your mother, you respect your mother. His dad obviously must have been that way, because he was the best father-in-law in the world. But my kids were very respectful in church, and I was a strict mother, but that was more when they were teenagers. So I don't know, I guess it was just the way our relationship was that made them that way. But they would never peep. I didn't have to bring goldfish or coloring books. Nothing against if that's what you had to do, but it bothered me when you're in church, and Catholic church doesn't have much money. I don't know, I haven't gone to church in so long, but these kids have their goldfish and they're crumbling up, and the parents don't care, and they leave it on the ground. We had a rug in our church, and then they got crayons all over the place, and we dress up, and then there might be a crayon under, maybe if I'm wearing something white. It's ridiculous. But anyhow, So I like that creature habit. I look forward to it. And we always went to Christmas Eve Mass. We didn't go to Christmas Day. We might have sometime in the beginning. I do not remember. But we always went to the family Mass on Christmas Eve. And always when my kids from that marriage were older, and they were doing their own thing, like maybe working, we're getting ready, like Easter too. Easter, always. Actually, it was my oldest son. Yeah, my first 3 sons from my first marriage. When I was in my second marriage, I don't know if he ever went to church, maybe only when the kids were baptized. But so I always went, but they would always show up, the first 3. And then it kind of dwindled off. Then it was the second and third son, I believe. Yeah, that would meet us. They had jobs, but they always made sure they would be at church. And always, if not at Easter, if I picked at Easter, it would be Ash Wednesday. That's when we get ashes on our forehead. But not all the time could they go because they're in school and they do it, in the day. Plus, they went to Catholic school, so they got their ashes. But always on Christmas Eve. And they'd always go to church. They'd be there. I'd always save them seats. And then it dwindled down to my third son. And, of course, I had my daughter, who was my 4th from my first marriage, and my son, the 5th. Obviously, they were little, so they were with me. And so, actually, I'm mixing you up. I'm talking about when I'm in my second marriage. So, you're supposed to read my mind. Talking about going to church in my second marriage. In my first marriage, we all went as a family all the time. Then after the divorce, when I remarried and had children. So, I'm in church with, it was Polly's, I don't know how much younger he is than my daughter. But anyhow, I remember having just the 2 kids. And then that's what I was trying to say. When the other kids from my other marriage, I think they were teenagers. Yes, they were. So they, if they were working, they would always show up. And like I say, then it dwindled down to my 3rd from my first marriage. Well, my 3rd child, basically. It doesn't matter which marriage. It's the 3rd, because I have 8 kids. So the 3rd child, he always showed up. No matter what, he showed up. And I think because the other 2, whenever they had girlfriends, I'm sure they ran their lives. So shame on them. But anyhow, it was really nice. He was always there. And the second set of kids weren't like the first. Especially my daughter. She was one of those that you had to kind of bribe. But, it comes from the genes, from her father's genes, And plus, he wasn't there. And it makes a difference. If you have 2 parents there, you show a united front. You show a family together. I highly believe that makes what kind of children you have. But anyhow, so I'm a creature of habit. I miss going to church on Christmas Eve. And then, in our first marriage, stick with me here. I'm jumping back and forth. In our first marriage, we also, we started going to midnight mass, and which was really hard with Santa Claus and all, if you know what I mean. But anyhow, in case you have any little kids around. So we started by going to midnight mass, because I think that's what my first ex there, his family, his father had a lot to do with church. So he played the organ, so I think he was used to midnight mass. So we dragged the kids. I don't remember if they fell asleep. Probably if they were little they did, or we had a baby or whatever. But that's how he starts. But then as they, we started having more kids, we decided to go to this family mass that we heard they have. And I don't know if he lived in a small town. I don't know if they had the family mass. He didn't know. I don't know. But anyhow, we started going to that. And then what we would do, my mom would come over sometimes, and we would go to midnight mass, my first husband and I. Yeah, couldn't get enough of that mass. And then after a while, we decided that, no, I think we continued to go. No, okay, now we're back to the second marriage. In the second marriage, so we went to the family mass, which was on Saturday. And if you didn't get there on time, which of course we never did, because I was always begging, their father to come, and wasted all that time. What a waste of time. So then we were late, nowhere to park, and then we had to stand in the back, and it was miserable, but we went. So then we continued. I went with the kids, and like I said, my third child would always meet us there at church, and it'd be kind of nice just to have someone else there with me. But then what I started doing was, we went to the family mass, and I used to always creature habit. I always made lasagna on Christmas Eve, and Italian bread, and we had, I don't know what else that just sticks out, but we had a lot of food. That was the first marriage. Second marriage, it got down to lasagna and Italian bread. So then we had that, and then I started going to midnight mass, which later on turned into 10 or 11 o'clock mass, depending on what church, because this, Catholic churches have been closing. So I don't even know. I haven't been to church through these last few years because of what's going on in the world. I thought I'd have this candle at a different angle, but now it's just not working out for me. But oh well, I started this way, and I'm a creature of habit, so I can't change it. I mean, I could, but I can't. I don't know. Anyhow. So I started going to midnight mass, and I found a beautiful church in a bougie area, and they had candles, and you would hold a candle, and they had a little kind of plastic, almost like if you go to fast food, the plastic they put on the cups, almost it looked like that, but turned upside down. And I think I had taken my youngest daughter, who would be child number 7, with me, because she just seemed more that, she would enjoy it than the boys. But we had already gone to church, in the day. Well, it was 5 o'clock family mass. So I took her, but she had really long hair. And, she was this type of, like, what's the word I want to use? Clumsy. And all I thought of when I saw the candles, because we didn't have candles at the mass I used to go, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's going to just burn down her hair, because she had long hair. So, but I wasn't going to put her hair in a ponytail in church, because, it's church. We're dressed nice. We usually dress the same. So we're in there, and they gave us these candles, and that's always the thing. I couldn't concentrate on church. Well, guess what happened? There was another girl with long hair. I shouldn't be laughing. I'm not laughing like, oh, it's so funny. I just mean it's kind of ironic. Here I'm worrying about her. The girl singed her hair, her long hair, with the candle. So anyhow, I think they got rid of the candles after that year. But anyhow, I enjoyed that. Sorry, I had to have a sip of water. I enjoyed that. I missed that. I like routine, when the kids were little. Again, back to the first marriage. The second marriage, I don't think there was routine. Again, it goes with the family. We were more of a, well, at the beginning we were together, but that was, the con man putting on a show. I'm talking about the second marriage. The first marriage, it was together. Everything was together. Dinner was together. We ate together at dinner table. We said prayers before dinner, in the morning, at bedtime. It was just, that's just my opinion and my experience. And I've been married twice. So I was married to someone Catholic and someone, I don't even know, a devil worshiper, I'm pretty sure. Because his mother was the devil. So he's the devil's child. But anyhow, it just wasn't the same. But, I didn't not like it when I was going through it, because I didn't know I had married a con man, but I did. But, he was a good con man because he had me con. And anyhow, it just wasn't the same, but it was the same in the way, because he was doing whatever and I was with the kids all the time. So that didn't change. It was always the kids and me. In another marriage, it happened to have the husband around. But anyhow, so are you a person of habit, a creature of habit, or do you like change? If you have children, they're probably grown. I think most of my subscribers, your children are grown, and you have grandchildren. Does anyone have great-grandchildren? So did you worry about the empty nest thing, or did you have like a million kids like I did and had no time to worry? How did you handle the empty nest thing? I don't know. When I think about it, I think it'd be awful, especially if, you had gotten divorced and then a few years later your last child grew up. That would be, oh my gosh, horrible. But what kind of person are you? And maybe people are, want a beach, a little beach, but I know for sure I do not like change. I just remember being, well, coins, that kind of change I'd like. Just trying to make a joke here. But anyhow, yeah, I just remember through life. And, it could be too, because, like I said, I lived most of my first 5 years in Canada because my mom was there, and then we'd go back and forth from here to Canada. So, I had to go through a lot of change, and maybe that's why. Maybe if I had a stable home, not that I didn't have a stable home, you know what I mean? If we didn't have to always, oh, we're going to Canada now, always Canada Day we were there, and, this holiday, that holiday, So maybe that, I don't know. I don't know if you're born that way, or it's, you know how they say it's genetics versus environment. I don't know. I'm sure I'll have enough time to think about it and do another video, but I'm wondering. And I don't know if you're going to answer, so I may be talking to myself, but I thought that was an interesting topic because, I don't know, I never thought about it, but I am definitely a creature of habit. I like, routines. Like now there's really not much of a routine. Definitely not, because, everything revolves around the temperature and how I feel, and how I feel depends on the temperature. And there is no, I don't have a certain days that I'm going to do the Instacart, because that's just a whole debacle in itself. But anyhow, so, and maybe if you were one way, have you changed since the world changed? Let me know. I'd be really interested. Again, if you don't comment, I won't know, but I'm just putting it out there. So I am definitely a creature of habit, do not like change, and do not like to be alone at all. I just can't stand it. Maybe that's why when I was a teenager, I always had the radio on when I went to bed, because I didn't like to be alone. Now I can't have the radio on. Well, I don't have a radio, but like I can have relaxation music, but if it was like, I think you can get radio on your phone. Not mine, because I have an awful phone that you never can load anything on it. But I remember I had found an old radio, and I tried it, and I couldn't sleep. Isn't it funny? So when I was a teenager, I loved to hear music to fall asleep. Now it's only relaxation music. So, again, I'm a creature of habit. Music, either, teenage music or relaxation. So music, again, I was going to think of a cool word. It went right out of my head. So let me know, I talk too much, but what are you going to do? I'm talking to myself. But anyhow, let me know which one you are, or don't let me know. But anyhow, don't forget to subscribe, like, hit the notification bell, share. Sharing is caring. Don't forget to pay it forward. It feels good in your heart, Polly's heart. My heart is about the time, giving time in the season if you can give, and the red kettles will be out soon, and, all that stuff. Be kind to people. You don't know what they're going through, and be kind to yourself. And, oh yeah, that video, if you watched, and I saw some people did watch it, boy, this candle's really, oh, it's me. It's not the candle, it's me. So that video went under my community tab. So if you know how to find it, and I don't know, if you guys are watching me on computer, I have no clue what to tell you. But if you watch me on the phone, if you press on that little circle that shows my picture of me, press on the circle, then you go up and you'll see it will say, I think it says vlogs. If you go across it, now this is on a phone. I don't know what it does on a computer. I don't have one. So you go across, I don't know, the right or the left. I don't know which way it would be for you guys. And you'll see community. You press on community and you will see, oh, I should have looked at the title. But I think I only have, yeah, I have two things. One is a picture of like, actually I think I got it off a box of like, not Twinkies, but something like that. So that's in there, and then the video. That was the video from over a year and a half ago. And if you watch it, it's something about dark. And like I said, Colleen and Melissa, where are you, Melissa? Commented on it, and there was meaning behind it. So if you can find this community tab, press on it, and then you can watch the video. It was January 2021. It's almost like I predicted what's happening right now in the world. So let me know if you found that. Could you at least let me know that? I am really curious, because I worked really hard on figuring out how to do that, and it didn't come up in the video. So maybe one day next week in a video, I'll see if I could like link it into the comments, if you can't find it. But anyhow, okay, I've talked way too long. I probably lost half of you, fallen asleep or laughter. Maybe you watched it to the end, I don't know. But for now, thanks for stopping by. I hope some people comment, because I'm worried about people that I haven't heard from. And I just like to hear from you, Just makes my day brighter. So for now, thanks for stopping by, and see you next time.